Welcome to Travel Unraveled. I'm your host, Blake. Join me each month as I sit down with friends, world travelers, and experts of all kinds to candidly and unapologetically discuss any and everything travel. My guest right now, the beautiful, the vivacious, the wonderful Miss Claire Woods, senior attorney with the Natural Resources Defense Council. Claire, welcome.
Hi, Blake. Thank you so much for having me today.
I'm thrilled to have you because you're genuinely one of the smartest women I know and someone who's really doing good work, which I can't say about everybody I know. You've been around the world. You work with stuff domestically, but world issues, and you've lived a life.
I've been around the block a few times, if you know what I mean.
All right, well, let's start with you're the only person I've physically done a couples trip with. How was that?
It was a great couples trip. Honestly, it was the best couples trip of my life.
Have you done another one?
No, but it was so fun because do your viewers know about Tara?
Yeah, I talk about her periodically.
Okay. Well, I've been friends with Blake's lady, Tara, for many, many years. And the best thing about a couples trip is that when you don't want to hang out with your SO anymore, you can hang out with your girlfriend. And that can be the whole trip if you want it to be, really. And that was great.
Agreed. But beyond just that, what about the couples trip? I mean, it was an amazing trip.
It was amazing. It was incredible. We went to 4 different locations in the Philippines. Most of them were island locations. Actually, all of them were island locations. We stayed at some beautiful hotels, and I am a hotel aficionado. I like my hotels.
Ditto.
I like them to be luxurious.
Yeah,
and
me too.
We stayed in some beautiful places and also had a lot of fun. We did some hiking, some adventuring. We did some snorkeling and diving.
Scuba diving.
It was really, really just a fun trip.
Not your favorite activity, let's be honest.
I mean, okay, I just get cold. It's cold down there.
I've never done it, so enlighten me and the listeners.
I need a double suit. I found that when I put on 2 wetsuits, it's better. I get less cold.
Just because of the depth.
I think it's just cold down there. And I don't like that. And I also feel a little claustrophobic. I don't not like it. I always think that I'm going to like it. And then when I'm down there, maybe I should just be snorkeling.
How many times have you gone diving?
Maybe 10.
Okay, so enough. I mean, and you've done the safety checks and this and that. It's not being in a strange place and you don't trust the equipment.
Well, that too, because every time I've gone diving, it's been the Philippines where I don't really know what these people are doing to make sure
in Sri
that
Lanka.
Yeah,
you don't know what kind of regulations.
But even
there.
in the British Virgin Islands where I learned how to dive, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
But ultimately, it's you being cold.
It's mainly just me being cold and feeling like if you go snorkeling in a really awesome place, you see so much marine life and it's so beautiful just to go snorkeling. The benefits of diving aren't that great compared to snorkeling.
Look, I'm with you. I've never gone scuba. I'd like to. And, honestly, you guys were pitching it pretty hard at the time, and I felt like I might have been missing something. But just given the world climate, you have to imagine in 10, 20 years, there's not going to be snorkeling and scuba. Even I go to Hawaii every year, it's done.
Bleached.
It's done. There is, they'll still bring you out on a boat and be like, hey, come here, you might see. No, they're just trying to milk the tourism. So
it's pretty devastating.
It is. And as an environmental lawyer, is that a part of why you do what you do, or was that just something you did before all this devastation and now that's just something that keeps you going?
Well, most of my work is to protect people from things that other people have done to the environment. The organization that I work for does plenty of oceans work and marine life preservation and endangered species work. And I've had those cases to some extent, but the cases that I really care about are the cases to protect people and cases that have to do with toxics in our air or toxics in our drinking water or chemicals that are that communities are being exposed to. Those are the types of cases that I mainly focus on. So I don't feel that motivated by the bleached coral, although I do think it's really sad and I hope that other people are working on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree in that people are f***ing shit up.
Yeah.
People on people, like,
We're screwed.
yeah, people aren't loving people enough. Would you agree with that?
I mean, yes, affirmative.
So how do you effectively do your job when you feel one thing emotionally, but you have to maintain like a cool and just be very, I need to present a case, I need to legally.
It's really hard. Like sometimes I have clients that I really deeply care about and that I'm really invested in, and I'm not always able to be as successful as I want to be on their behalf, and that is really challenging.
Oh.
He's messing
Sorry,
with the mic.
let me tweak the mic here. I'm gonna do one of these.
Oh, wow. Coming in from up top.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm not dismissing what you just said. I agree with that. That's difficult. It's difficult to balance people versus the planet, right?
It is. I mean, because every time we, make a decision to turn on the lights, for most of us, that's in the past at least has been generated by coal-fired power plants, and that is terrible for the environment. Thankfully, people are starting to turn to renewable sources, so that's great.
Is there something that got you into being an environmental lawyer? Like, why'd you go in that route?
I took a class on environmental justice in college, and I was really struck by the fact that communities of color and low-income communities bear the most intense burdens from environmental harm. So chemical companies and other, manufacturing facilities, industrial facilities are often cited in communities of color and low-income communities. And that's kind of why I got interested, why I applied to law school, why I started working and doing environmental work.
So as a woman of color yourself, does that inspire you more to achieve towards people of color?
100%, yeah.
Great. I mean, I think that's something we hear and see from a lot of the media and a lot of people, but we don't necessarily hear real advocates working and doing that all the time. So that's encouraging. You're from kind of a mixed background and a mixed ethnicity. Can you talk a little bit about, like, how do you identify as a person of color?
It's something that is a constant source of introspection for me. I have two sisters. There's three of us. We all look very different. We all have different skin colors. And it's identity is complicated. It's complicated to figure out like where you fit in, especially when people in my family all look so different. And when I was in college, I had the experience of being involved in the Black community, and that was incredible for me. I made amazing friends in college, and we were raised as Black. My mom instilled in us that we were Black. But it was hard. We grew up in Palo Alto, pretty much surrounded by white families, and most of my friends were white. And so college was the first time that I really was
Identified in that sort of
identified in that way. And it's been interesting exploring that throughout my adult life, trying to figure out like who I am racially and who I am culturally. And it's an ongoing expedition.
Yeah, I appreciate the honesty for that because, I think it's not so cut and dry all the time. So I know one thing. I know very little from what Tara's told me, but I know at some point in high school you moved to Europe and lived in Switzerland. If you're willing to open up about that, what made that happen? That's not a normal sort of thing you hear about. But also, more importantly, how did that sort of define your life and how you view the world?
So my mom was raised by a Creole woman and a Black man. And when she was 40, her mom told her that the man that raised her was not her real father and that her real father was Iraqi. That's where
When she was 40?
When she was 40. So I was, I don't know, like 8 or something at the time.
So was this a bombshell, or were
it was
you
a
just
bombshell.
It was
a bombshell.
even at 8 years old, you understood that.
Yes, I remember. Like I have this scene in my mind of my mom my parents were just getting a divorce at this time, but I remember seeing my mom crying like with a letter in her hand and my dad like comforting her. I think maybe I made up that memory, but I have this thought of that happening. And my mom went on a mission to try to find her real father or her biological father. And she hired a private investigator, and it took a few years.
No way.
Yeah. She found him. She was looking in Iraq, but he was actually a professor at the University of Illinois, Springfield. And she found him. We met his kids. And my mom.
How many kids did he have?
He had 4 other kids.
No.
He got married after the relationship with my grandmother, which was like a quick affair, I think. And he had a beautiful family and grandkids who I'm close with now. And part of going to Switzerland was meeting family members that we had never met before. So the Switzerland trip was a vacation at first. We were going to Tunisia, I think. Anyway, we were going somewhere in the Middle East. We stopped off and like our layover was in Geneva. My mom had cousins in Geneva. We had never met before. And her cousin worked at the World Health Organization. So we stayed with them for a few days, and my mom does intellectual property work. And he arranged for my mom to do like a tour of the World Intellectual Property Organization, which is a part of the UN. And they offered her a job. And so when she didn't tell us, I'm not sure when the job offer came in, but eventually we were back in California, and she said, "What do you guys think about moving to Switzerland?"
And you were high school age at this point.
I was halfway through my sophomore year of high school when we moved.
It's a very vulnerable time in anybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that, making that decision as a sophomore to just say, forget my friends, I'm going to move to Switzerland?
Well, my mom framed it as if we would only be gone for 1 or 2 years,
So
or one. And I thought I was going to be coming back pretty soon.
It felt like a summer vacation.
Yeah. And then also I think I was nervous about my future. I think I had some anxiety about whether I was going to be successful where I was in California. This high school that I was going to was highly competitive, and I think I was worried that I wasn't going to do well there. And Switzerland was going to Geneva was a way to start over, to kind of like reinvent myself. And that's actually what it allowed me to do.
Do you think going there and going to, a place like Switzerland that, as, a teenager, how did that define you and kind of the path that your life has taken?
Well, I didn't have any friends at first, and that was really challenging, but it meant that I dug into school, and I did really well in high school in Switzerland, and I think it allowed me to have the educational opportunities that I got when I came back to the United States, because I focused so much on academics because I didn't have any friends. But I did have wonderful friends in California who I stayed in touch with.
So you kept in touch with your friends?
I fully kept in touch with my friends from high school, actually from growing up, from starting in first grade. I stayed in touch with all of them, and I'm still good friends with them to this day, including Tara.
Never heard of her.
But even, I met Tara through Whitney, and Whitney and her mom Leah came and visited me in Switzerland.
Wow.
When I was there, and it was really special to be able to maintain those friendships.
I'm sure. I'm the same. I have friends from grade school and high school and kindergarten, but I think generally speaking, that's a very rare thing to have, especially now. So how long were you there, and when did you come back?
I moved halfway through my sophomore year of high school, and then was there throughout high school, graduated high school there. And then when I was in college, my mom stayed there. So, when I was freshman, sophomore, junior, senior in college, all of my breaks would be in Switzerland, and I'd fly to Europe for, Christmas or summer. So even though I was only there for 3 years, like in total, it was more like 7.
Great. So I'm going to kind of leap off of that, and we're going to get off of the deep personal stuff. But based on that experience, how do you think being in a place like Europe, a place where you can go to multiple different countries very easily. Where in America, it's a struggle to go to a different state. But when you're in Switzerland, you're in Central Europe, you can go to so many different cultures very quickly and, on a train, on a bus, whatever. How do you think that impacted your life?
Well, first of all, living in Geneva is incredible for many, many different reasons. Like the music and art scene is amazing. It's just a beautiful place to live. I could talk about that in response to a different question. But one of the things about being in Geneva is that it's such an international city. And the kids that I went to school with at the International School of Geneva were from all over the world, from North Africa, from Southeast Asia, from Uzbekistan, from South America. And I got exposure to a ton of different cultures
early.
Right away. Like, my friends were from all over the world.
I was in my 30s when I met, really felt like I had a cultured worldview.
Yeah, I think that really shaped me, meeting people from all different places, from all different cultures and religions. But still having enough Americans to feel, at home at the same time. And aside from being exposed to all that in Geneva, my mom is a huge proponent of travel. Maybe she should be on the podcast at some point.
Absolutely. Let's get her on here.
But she really, even before we were in Europe, when we were in California as kids, she took us to India. She took us to Japan. Like she took us around, and she's a single mom with 3 kids. But she still took us around. But when we were in Geneva, we would, go on a weekend trip to Croatia. We would drive, I don't know. I think we would drive through northern Italy to Croatia for a long weekend, or we would go to Lyon in France or Paris for the weekend, or we would go to the south of France for spring break. It was incredible to be so close to so many different places. We went to Germany with soccer. I mean, there's just...
So in retrospect, looking back, is it frustrating looking at America and Americans and just kind of our lack of cultural understanding where, in Europe, you're literally, 30 minutes at times from a different country and a different culture and a different understanding, where for us in California, we look at people in Texas and we're like, you don't get it,
Well, yeah, it does seem like there are a lot of divides in our country right now, but I also think that if we really made an effort, there's so many things to do right outside our back door in the U.S. too. Like, I just bought a national parks pass this year for this season.
Yeah, for all the national parks in the U.S.
Yeah, and I mean, Zion, Bryce, the Grand Canyon, like there's so many places to go in our own backyard that many Americans don't experience. And the level of effort that it takes to get to Yosemite is really similar as to the level of effort it would have taken us to get to Paris when I lived in Geneva. And it's, I wish people took advantage of that more. And I wish I took advantage of that more.
What are your thoughts on sort of the oversaturation of that now, though, with Instagram and just exposure? Where, I mean, I grew up going to Yosemite all the time, but now literally to stay in Yosemite, you got to book that a year in advance because there are that many people worldwide that want to go to Yosemite.
Well, they want that money shot,
Hey, we all want the money shot.
Yeah, they really do.
There's no denying that. Opportunities.
Opportunities.
So when we went to the Philippines, my girlfriend Tara, who's quietly fly on the wall, and Claire and her partner at the time, Patrick.
Ex-husband.
I don't know. For me, that was a really great trip because I had never done a trip with other people, really. Like, definitely not another couple that I felt obligated to be friends with. Like,
but it was amazing. We didn't get tired of each other.
No.
Except for this one time, I have to say.
Uh-oh.
I have to say, It's not, this wasn't a segue. It wasn't that I was tired of you. It was an incredible experience. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this one night, I can't remember. It was like,
Is this when you sent 4 bottles of wine back?
oh no, it was a night in Boracay, which is like
The party
island. We all went out, and then Tara and I decided to turn in early, which was like not even that late. I mean, not even that early. It was like 11
p.m.
I
11
think.
p.m.
And we were staying in this beautiful like Shangri-La hotel, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah, the Shangri-La. Yeah. It's 5-star.
It was gorgeous.
We're going to dive into the 5-starness very quickly. Okay, but I agree on that.
I want to say that 2 people who shall remain nameless stayed out all night. There's like legends of that night that I've heard about bottle service and like at some random
Jägermeister.
Like, I don't even know what happened. All I know is that I woke up, Patrick was in the bathtub with the water running. I turn it off.
Yeah, let's talk more about where Patrick ended
up. Go get Tara for breakfast because the buffet was delicious.
Don't forget my verbal diarrhea.
Well, this is what this whole story is about. So for some reason, I go get Tara in the room next door for breakfast, and she's getting ready, and she's like opening the door, and she's like, Blake wants to come. You did, and you were wasted at breakfast.
I think that's a very judicious way of putting that.
Not coherent in any kind of way at like 10 in the morning. It was amazing.
It was a full night of drinking Jägermeister.
Yeah, it was, I wish I had a video or quotes from that experience. It was amazing. That was an amazing trip. And we were friends and had fun. It was a fun trip. We had a good time.
It was an amazing trip. There's no denying it. That being said, where do you like to go? What type of trips do you like to do?
Oh, Daddy. Yeah.
Come on.
I like a luxury hotel. I like a good 2-part trip. I like to do a little bit of luxury, and by a little bit I mean a lot.
Yes.
5-star.
Me too.
And then I like to have a little adventure. I actually like it in the flipped order, though. I like the adventure first. I like to go on a hiking/camping trip.
Well, yeah, you don't want to downgrade.
No. And then I like to end it off with
creme de la creme.
Luxury to the max.
Now, is that just wanting to feel pampered, or is that I want to go somewhere and see the best they have to offer?
Well, it's not, when you say they, like, it's not like the local people. It's
just wherever you go, whether that's...
But it's like, I like to see the local side of things in the adventure part of the trip. And then for the second part of the trip, I like to see the best the industry has to offer.
Sure.
And I love beautiful hotels. I love boutique hotels.
As do I.
I just stayed in this beautiful hotel in San Antonio called the St. Anthony's. I mean, who would think that San Antonio, Texas would have like a stunning hotel? But I have to say, it was one of the most beautiful hotels I've ever stayed in. It was so gorgeous, and everybody was so nice, and they really care about service. I don't like big hotels that are just machines. I like it to be like charismatic and like have little touches and just be unique, you know?
Sure. And that's important to reference is we're not talking about international all the time. Like there are so many places to go within the States, and God, I really feel like every state you go to has just such a wildly different atmosphere to offer. But do you ever feel like you go somewhere like Texas and you stay in these fancy places and people are judging you for living the 5-star life?
I mean, I guess sometimes, but in San Antonio, it wasn't like it was that expensive where anyone could judge me for it. But
it's not that nice.
But I mean,
San Antonio, for God's sake.
Well, this hotel was beautiful, and what I really liked about it was that it was classic. It was the architecture was, you know, it was just so beautiful. The
old world Texas.
Yeah, it was just stunning. But I do not love, like, if I go to someplace like the Maldives, which I've been to before and stayed at a beautiful hotel there. part of me wants to share the experience, but part of me feels like, oh, I don't want
feel
people
like an
to.
asshole.
Yeah, I kind of feel like an asshole. But I also just
But
really.
why should you? Because
Many people don't have the opportunity and luxury that I have to go on a trip like that. And it's not like I've had that many. It's not like I've been on that many trips like that. But I do really enjoy them, and there's something about staying in a nice hotel that feels good to me. And I'm sure it feels good to everyone and feels good to many people.
No, I agree. Look, if anyone doesn't know me on this, I'm all about that 5-star life as well. I don't have to do it every time. I'm not like I need the 5-star to survive. But God, I love it. I mean,
yeah, bring it on.
Who's not going to love the best of the best?
Bring it on.
Wherever you are.
Like, it's not like I buy myself nice clothes or nice purses or anything like that.
I don't have any clothes. I wear sweatpants 95% of the time.
But I do love a nice hotel. I can appreciate the details, you know? I do love it. And, you know, I'm sorry, Tara, if you think...
I don't think there's an apology needed for that. I think...
I like to train people to like nice hotels, too. Like...
Okay.
Speaking of Patrick, he didn't
What
really...
about the nice hotel do you really enjoy?
I like the breakfast buffet.
Okay.
I like the nice restaurants. I like a spacious room. I like a nice spa, a nice pool area with cocktails. Mm-hmm. I like water sports. I like sitting on the beach. I mean, these are just basic ass things that I very much enjoy.
Well, you know, basic is relative.
But sitting on the beach is pretty, I mean.
So you're a beach gal over a pool gal?
Well, it's debatable. I like some good pool time too, but on a hot day, I like the beach.
Me too.
I like both. I'd like to spend the morning at the pool and the afternoon at the beach, or vice versa. Like, I like to split my days.
I'm always going to lean to the beach, but you're not going to have all that service at the beach. You're going to have that at the pool.
Sometimes, yeah. You might get good service on the beach.
You might. I don't get shit on the beach.
Oh. Remember in the Philippines where they had ladies that would come massage you on the beach?
That was at the pool still.
No. It was also on the beach. But at the pool too. Remember that massage that you had?
Yes. That was...
What was her name?
Who cares?
Well, I don't know.
I had a whole all-nighter with a bottle of Jägermeister, your ex-husband, and my adoring life partner.
I feel like we really haven't captured my love for hotels.
Okay, so that being said, what's most important in just any kind of experience?
Ambiance. Decor and ambiance.
Sure. So walking in, the wow factor.
The wow factor in the lobby, in the rooms. Just like being... having
the pillows, the sheets, the
view,
the little soaps put up in your.
I like a good soap. I like a good lotion. I like a good mouthwash.
But multiple lotions, like 5 lotions lined up.
And I like,
the option of lotions. The view, I think, is important. But look, you can stay at the best hotel ever, get the shittiest room, and be disappointed, right?
That's true. Well,
where you're like, I'm spending $750 a night on this mountain view, like nothing, while I know
like a courtyard view, which means like looking onto the air conditioner. To be honest, I stayed at the Parker in Palm Springs over New Year's, and I'm specifically putting this in there because it was a travesty. We have moved rooms 3 times because. In those rooms, that's an expensive hotel. This wasn't during
Splash House, was it?
No, I don't know what Splash House is, but it was New Year's.
Me neither. Never heard of it.
I have a few questions for you.
Wow, that's a new one. Oh. Hit me.
Where is your favorite place you've ever been?
God, that's a tough one because it's all relative to the time, right? So at the time, it used to be Japan, circa 2009. Mm-hmm. That place blew my mind, really in every way. I don't know. It's hard to sum up, but that was easily like my favorite place I've ever been. I'm a city guy, which is weird. I like,
You're not a beach gal.
No, I'm a beach gal too. I'm a Piña type of person.
We haven't even talked about a couple of piñas yet.
We'll get there.
Hush up, Tara.
So Japan, in 2009, I would have told you was my favorite place. Honestly, the Philippines is easily top 3 now. I mean, that blew me away because I had no expectation. And then it was so incredible that I was like, wow, I could come back here again and again and again. I also love like Cannes and like south of France.
I love
Sicily, like places like that where you're like, wow, like just super bougie Europe that are just awesome. But they're bougie Europe.
I mean, not all of those places have to be bougie Europe.
Yeah, but like Africa was like, going to Kenya was one of my favorite places. Now, somewhere I would vacation all the time? No. But life-changing, transformative, one of my favorite places for sure. So it's hard for me to say I have a favorite place. It changes every year. I never thought it would, but it tends to change for me now more than it used to.
What's your favorite hotel you've ever stayed in?
There was one in Scotland at St. Andrews at the golf course, literally. It was like a mansion for a hotel room on the golf course at St. Andrews, Scotland. I think that was probably the most impressive hotel I've ever gone to, just as far as like walking in. And I was like, oh, I'm in a house on the old course in St. Andrews, Scotland. I was like 13. Which also very impressionable young lad's age.
Oh, wow. Broke out the accent.
Well, we've been watching Outlander. Taught us into a bit of the smut.
I just wish his hair wasn't so red and that he had a little bit more of it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Soft core. You're more of a hardcore type of guy.
Wow, thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah. Just making an observation.
So, where on your list of, best hotels to worst hotels does your experience at the Pelican Hills stand?
That was fantastic.
It was a
I
great
would have loved to
experience.
play golf there.
Yeah.
I love the privacy. I love that they were like, Keanu was here, but we can't tell you Keanu was here. I love that.
Well, for the listeners, I'd just like to say that the three of us went to a wedding there, and I was cheap.
Keanu was there.
So we shared a room, and it was around
Cheap, you're welcome anytime.
2:30 a.m. And Tara and I were simply ordering room service like normal people. And Blake was in the bathtub, and there was like one of those windows over the bathtub where you could see from the bedroom into the bathroom, and it was quite incredible. It was an incredible experience.
I enjoy a good bath. I don't think people know that. No, I will take a bath. I'll take the shit out of a bath.
Yeah. I'm not really a bath kind of gal.
Most people aren't. Look, if I'm going to 5-star it, I want to use all the amenities, right?
I want to use the amenities.
I want to
too.
use that soap. I want to use that tub. I want to know, like,
how's your conditioner?
just why is there a 6-foot tub in the middle of the room?
Yeah.
If I don't get in it, butt naked.
Is it really that great? I mean, you wouldn't have put it there if it wasn't that great.
Why is it there? Why is there an open shade into the bedroom from the bath?
Right. You need to experience it.
I'm sure there's a lot of people listening, not so much, but maybe some of them that are
Probably.
like, I've never bathed.
Well, you know, I would like to bring up that the Philippines trip and our little domestic trips, but the Philippines trip is not the only international trip we've been on together. We have also been to, well, of course, Mexico. Well, that's where Daddy was born. But that's another story. No, we've been to Bali.
Yes.
We went to Bali this year together.
Well, we went to Bali and you went to Bali and we met up in Bali.
Okay, make sure to separate me, but we really had two nights in Bali together.
You're right. Yeah. Let's talk about that. How was it when we showed up at the Airbnb and there were guys just doing construction outside our bedroom?
I felt great about it. Honestly, like, I don't feel bothered by that kind of thing, but I could see that others...
I felt swindled. Honestly, like we paid
It
kinda,
wasn't a free place.
it wasn't expensive, but you're paying top dollar, you're expecting like Indonesian luxury, and then literally from the bedroom, there's just a guy building a home 500 feet away from you.
So here's my thinking. I think that Airbnb is really hit or miss. Like, if you really want luxury, go to a beautiful hotel. Like, the purpose of Airbnb is to have enough space and to have a cooking space, to have your friends and family, and if you want to do that type of thing.
Well, yeah,
but
exactly.
I feel like my preference in general is to stay at a hotel. Mainly because I'm often at hotels by myself, and then I can hang out at the hotel bar.
Okay. Here, I'm going to stop real quick, and then we're going to dive into the end of this.
Okay.
All right. Back with my beautiful guest, Claire Woods. We're going to do a new segment called, sorry, Tara doesn't like that I called her beautiful. My hideous guest, Claire Woods.
The first compliment always.
Oh, God.
He loves you.
We're going to do a new segment called 5-Second Rule.
Oh,
It's Ellen's game. I mean,
Right. Great.
these questions were written by my life partner. You know the rules.
Your SO.
You know the rules. You have 5 seconds
Yep.
to answer 3 things. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Who are your first top 3 celebrity crushes?
Jesse Williams. Josh Hartnett, obviously.
And
It's just those two, really.
why?
Well, Josh Hartnett was in my younger years, and Jesse Williams is now.
What happened to Josh Hartnett?
Unfortunately, I don't know.
Post Pearl Harbor? Like, has he done
Josh,
anything?
if you're out there, I'm still single.
Me too.
I'm available.
And
Josh,
Jesse, if
please,
you're
Josh,
listening,
please,
I work
please.
out next to you at the gym.
Okay. Top 3 childhood vacation spots. Go.
India, Tunisia, Mexico.
All right. Nice. You got that one. Where in India?
We went all over the place. My mom's really close friend, Robin, was the ambassador to India, the American ambassador to India. So we stayed at her house in Delhi, and I remember watching Annie. She has 2 kids, 2 daughters, and my mom obviously had 3 daughters, like I talked about before. And so we stayed at the house all day watching Annie, and then in the afternoons we would go out and do like adventures and stuff, and it was pretty amazing. And then so we did Delhi, we did Jaipur, and we did Madras, which is now Chennai.
When was the last time you were in India?
That trip. But I would love to go back. I really want to go to Goa.
Have you ever been to an Indian wedding?
No, I need to go.
Well, we need to
Someone
meet some
who-
people to marry some Indian people.
Who's going to invite me, please?
An Indian man or woman that's
Yeah.
marrying someone. Top 3 random facts about yourself. Go.
I've got great quads.
Sorry, that alone takes 5 seconds to discuss. Can I take a look at your quads?
Sure.
Wow, that's a muscle tone.
Thank you.
Okay.
I showed Tara a full picture of a full Ash
She's been working
view
on
earlier
it.
because I've been
She
doing a
has
lot of
been
squats
working on it. Did you
recently.
pause it?
Hey, squat it out.
Yeah. You should probably stop this conversation.
All right. 3 things a guy you're trying to meet on a travel trip shouldn't wear. Go.
Speedo, weird sunglasses inside, and a weird backpack.
I want to play this game.
My lovely girlfriend Tara really wants to join this new segment because she loves games.
Yes.
At some point, she might be a guest on the show.
Maybe. Should we both say our
Yeah.
answers at
Yes,
the same
yeah.
time?
let's
Well,
do
yeah,
it.
blurt them out together.
Okay.
That'll make it clear for the audience.
Maybe we should get closer to the mic.
Or just do one at a time and make fun of each other.
Okay.
Okay. Top 3 worst ideas of where to go for a first date. Go.
A restaurant. Swimming.
Swimming.
I'm going to say the movie theater because you don't talk at all.
Good one.
Okay.
I don't want that.
Swimming? Have you ever had a man invite you to swim?
No, but
first?
these are just potentials.
But have you ever had a guy be like, you want to go swimming?
No, but I do go to the gym sometimes, and you never know. There's a pool at the gym.
You ever meet a guy at the gym, honestly?
No.
Yeah, right? Like, you're sweating, you're working, he's just like,
I
hey.
mean,
If
I
Jesse
think
talked to you.
I think that it happens probably. I mean, I go to Equinox, so that's
Very
like a breeding
exclusive.
ground.
Very, very posh.
No,
All right.
it's not that posh. It's just that I think that a lot of people that go there, the reason why they go there is to meet people.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. How about this? 3 haircuts a man should never wear. Go.
Bowl cut, bald, long.
Define long.
Like if
Below
you have
the
to,
shoulder.
if you have to pee and you have to move your hair so that, or if you have to go number 2 and you have to move your hair when you sit down so that it doesn't get in the way.
What if he's like Fabio and he has like golden locks?
Well, that's not okay.
Not okay.
No.
And what's wrong with bald?
Well, as I was saying it, I realized.
No, it's okay. All my guests basically berate me on my physical appearance.
I mean, no.
It's sort of part of the show.
Daddy, you're very cute, very attractive.
No, my last guest was like, the most attractive men have wonderful hair and wear skinny jeans. And I'm like,
Ew,
so
what?
everything
no, I'm
that's
not into
not
the skinny
me.
jeans.
No?
No,
Don't like it?
no.
What are the top 3 hotel chains you used to like to stay at? Go.
6 Senses, Banyan Tree, and 4 Seasons.
Ooh, plenty of time. Okay, if you could have any ex of yours on your next trip, who would the top 3 be? Go.
I can't. Any ex? I mean, there's only one. 2. There's 2. I can't say their names.
But there are 2. There's only 2, and you know who you are.
Yeah. Okay, when you're at a fancy hotel, what is your favorite cocktail?
Gin and tonic, White Russian, and vodka soda.
How dare you not say Piña Colada?
We haven't even talked about
haven't
piñas
even
yet.
talked about
Okay.
a couple of piñas.
So, Blake, I'd like to tell you about an experience that you and I had together. I'd like to share it with your viewers.
Great.
We're in the Philippines. We are staying at a beautiful hotel, but we just decided we need more. And so we decided to go to this island for the day where this it was like a sandbar beach and
Yeah.
there was a hotel and they had a lunch spot and it was very beautiful. I can't remember what this place was called. I followed it on Instagram so we could find it.
It was
later.
south of Cebu.
Yeah. It was very beautiful.
We have
Tara
our
and
stat woman working on it.
Tara
as
and
we
I took
speak.
some glamour shots on the sandbar, which was gorgeous.
Oh, I know. I have photos for you if you don't have them.
But, around midday, Tara and my ex, Patrick, decided that they wanted a massage, or they each wanted a massage. And, throughout this trip, Blake and I had been very interested in Piña Coladas and very, very interested in rating the
Sumalon Island.
Sumalon Island, right. So we had been interested in rating the Piña Coladas, and we had been doing this every day throughout the trip. Blake and I committed to ourselves that we were going to have a piña.
Yes.
And we actually started a blog idea called Couple of Piñas, but none of you bitches steal it.
That's right. Trademarked #, couple of piñas.
But anyway, I digress. Our SOs. When have I ever said SOs before? But our SOs decided they wanted massages, but Blake and I were more into the piñas.
We had private massages the day before.
We
to
literally
be
had
fair.
massages every day, almost.
No, we literally had one the day before, and that was our arrangement. We had them separately.
I forgot. Yeah, we
Separately,
had our own, but not together.
not together.
So Tara and Patrick decide that they want to have massages, and the reception was confused, and they booked a couples massage. I've seen the pictures. It was a cliffside, beautiful bungalow, like a cloth bungalow with rose petals and two beds set up looking over the ocean. It was gorgeous. And they just had a naked couples massage next to each other while Blake and I were at the bar having piñas, talking about life.
That's right.
That is the definition of a couples trip. I have to say, if you can't split up by couple and have one half of the couples have massages together and the other half have piñas at the bar.
If you don't want to separate from your spouse for 30 minutes to let them get butt naked with your best friend's sexual partner, then what are you doing?
What is vacationing about, really?
What's life about?
But, I mean, we did experience some tough times with the piñas in the Philippines. They weren't all great. It didn't hit. It did, except for that Alona Beach, that one hotel in Alona Beach.
It's too warm, right? A good piña has
ice
and ice cream and
I don't like ice cream in my piñas.
Oh, I beg to differ. It's all about texture.
I don't like it too sweet, though.
I know, but it needs ice then. It needs texture. It can't be all runny and
yes. Well, obviously not.
Just rum and warm water.
That's fucking terrible. But I mean, it's a worthy cause, piñas.
We did it, guys. Thank you so much to my wonderful guest.
Beautiful. Well, you said beautiful before, so I feel confused.
I can't say beautiful twice. My gorgeous guest, Miss Claire Woods. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Blake. Thank you, my host, for hosting me.
You're welcome anytime. I appreciate your valued input. And for all of you tuning in, come back next time.